Hi, my name is Princilla, your tech girly, and I am so happy that I'm here today. It has been such a while. That is why I thought to bring to you this particular video inspired by the comments showing on your screen right now. I thought it's wise to do this because I have seen this question not only on my YouTube, but also on my TikTok and sometimes on my LinkedIn asking the same question. As for the title, I want to share with you companies that are in need for data analysts in Ghana, right? And I like to make this as beautiful as possible, a better word. I have categorized these companies into six main industries, or I've put this into six main categories, right? So that if I don't mention the company's name, at least it falls a category, and then you just go ahead and look it up yourself, right? And beyond Ghana, it can also apply to any other African space that you're looking for a job to apply to as a data analyst. Without much ado, let's jump into the video. Now, this particular six categories I'm going to share with you as I need of data analysts in Ghana is because of three main things. They are highly reliant on their data because, first of all, they have a lot of it. It's abundant because of how it operates in the first place. They can't but operate with data. And so it is there sitting down there and they need someone to come and then help them make sense of it. Right. The second reason why they made it to this list is because of its critical need for it to help the business survive, right? Because it's one thing to just gather data. I have to see that beyond this data, I need it to help my business make more sense. And then thirdly, this data is able to help them to monetize their business operations, right? Yes, it's a lot. You can say it's critical, but they need to have someone to come to the picture to help them make money off of that too is a plus, right? Which is why we have this going on. The first category on the list is we have banks and financial services, right? By banks, I mean our banks in Ghana like EcoBank, Car Bank, CBG, Fidelity Bank, and any other bank I'm looking out for, right? And financial services like microcredit institutions, for instance, think of any. These people are in need of data analysts, right? The reason for that is because they are highly reliant on their data to do things that are very critical to their business. For instance, to be able to detect things like fraud, right? In addition to, they need to be able to know what's happening in their data, that's able to make money off it. I said it around, it has to be monetizable, critical, and be abundant as well, right? For instance, you have lots of data as a bank, that's abundant data, right? And through that data, you want to be able to figure out if the candidate to tell if to give out loans to somebody or not, right? And without a data analyst, there is no way you're going to be able to tell that, right? As a data analyst, some critical tools that are going to be needed in this particular space would be SQL because of the abundance of data that they have. Their data will not be in Excel sheets. More often than not, it's going to be databases, and you need a tool like SQL to help you figure that out, right? In addition to a tool like Python and Power BI for visualization often helps exponentially as well, right? Now, the second category on the list here are we have telcos and fintech companies, right? Now, by telcos, they're people that buy our data and credits to make calls from, simply put, right? So our MTN, our Telecel, our Airtel Tigo, these people are in need of their data analyst, right? In addition to, we have fintechs like ZPay, Haptel, you name it. These companies, right, also have genuine need for data analysts, right? This is because with data analysts, they will be able to do things like market analytics and to know more about how to market the right product to their right target base to make more money out of it in the first place, right? And then also to use the data for churn analysis, right? By churn analysis, what I mean is that you can use data to be able to figure out who's coming back to the business or who's running away, and then figure out ways strategically, once again, through the data, that help them make better decisions in the future, right? And in some cases too, since some of them work with money, things like fraud prevention also comes in the picture, right? And we talk that also have mobile money right now too, can go as far as it like mobile money analysis as well, right? And similar to the previous, They use tools like SQL. SQL is something that is usually in need in almost every single space, as long as it's a very big industry and they have a lot of data, right? In addition to, there might be a need for Excel because not all spaces are well equipped to be able to have data sitting in very huge databases, right? SQL, Excel, and sometimes Python programming when you have to do a lot of data manipulation, and in some cases, either Tableau or Power BI based on the company's preference, right? So keep that in mind. Now, all right, so a third category, right, that would be in need of data analysts in Ghana, proven and seen, are the healthcare industry, right? And this particular industry, particularly in Ghana and most across Africa, are one of the most undertalked spaces that are in need of data analysts, right? In Ghana, we have healthcare companies like Ghana Health Service, Zipline, M Pharma, etc. Right? These people are in dire need of data analysts, right? And particularly for data analysts that are very, very aligned with ethical concerns, clear judgment, and lack of bias when it comes to data reporting and analysis, right? They tend to use their data for certain things like drug forecasting, like patient outcomes, impact reporting, etc. Just as ways to be able to help them figure out how to make provision of services or the personnel do better at their jobs, right? The third category of companies that need data analysts are what I tagged as tech startups, right? And by tech startups, companies that are more or less coming up or are comfortable in data space and are still growing their business they are going, right? My examples I put under here are companies like Isoko and Complete Pharma, for instance, right? These people are, of course, they are startups, not because they are startups, but they are highly reliant on certain data like customer feedback, right? And what is the use of customer feedback data if you don't have anyone to help analyze it in the first place? Do you understand? Exactly. In addition to, these tech startups can use the data for things like revenue tracking, sales optimization, and even sometimes looking at things like the reviewing of operational bottlenecks. Data analysts without data analysts in these particular spaces, these tech startups are bound to crash long term because, as you've already seen throughout this channel, good data is good life. Keep in mind, startups really, really love journalists. So if you are someone who loves research, cleaning the right data, building dashboards, and then communicating very clearly, you are every tech startup's dream analyst. Shine your eyes. The fifth category that are in need of data analysts in Ghana are NGOs or government organizations, right? For example, we have institutions like GIZ, UNDP, Car Service, etc. Right? These people are in need of data analysts because they need to be able to do things like impact evaluation, right? Say GIZ is out there doing programs and they're like, how exactly are you supposed to go and report back to whoever is in charge about how they're performing without a proper data analyst to help them put numbers together and tell a better story about their progress, where they are going, and what areas that need to be fixed in the long term, right? That is where data analysts come in. In addition, it can also help out in things like policy recommendations, maybe based off the impact evaluation reports, able to help give out policy recommendations or help with field data cleaning. Since most of these engines have been going to the field able to gather data and then make sense out of it, right? In this particular space, the use of data tools like Excel or Google Sheets are very important because primarily, from my experience, these people use forms to go and collect the data from the field, for instance, make it in and that can clean it up in the long term, right? In addition to that, you can also improve your skills in Python programming if your data that's collected has been a lot and you need a faster way to clean and manage your data, right? And for reporting, of course, the tool, whether Power BI or Tableau, is solely based on the company's choice, right? The last and final company on my list that I in need data analysts in Ghana are the retail, logistics, and then e-commerce industries, right? I'm talking about companies like MaxMart, Jumia, Accra Mall, just any company that falls in this category would have a dire need for a data analyst, right? The reason being that is because they need you to be able to help them do items like inventory analysis, right? They can look into things like customer behavior patterns when it comes to purchases and also performance of their vendors, right? Because some of these people have to get vendors to bring the items into the store and then look at us and figure out if they're getting items bought from them or not, right? In addition to look at things like delivery optimization, there you have it. 6 major industries in Ghana or categories that have dire need for data analysts in Ghana. As I said earlier on, I'll not be able to give you an extensive list of all companies in Ghana that fall to that particular category, right? But with categorizations in mind and an idea of why they need an analyst, you should be well on your way to figure out what you can do, how you can go in there and pitch your value, or how to be hired as a data analyst. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And also too, if per chance, just like this particular video I made based off the YouTube comments, if there's any other question that you want to ask me and make a video about, please let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to definitely